Hey, Michigan, it's time to talk the state champs Mr. Football race presented by Hungry Howie's. Sean Belizean out of town this week, so the digital managing editor and a member of the Mr. Football committee, Matt Mowry, is joining us. Thank you, sir. How are you today?
I am well. Yourself?
Oh, I'm doing well. All right, well, Matt, behind the scenes, has been deep diving the stats all season long. He maintains the voting page for us, does a great job. Matt is here today to talk about how the Mr. Football candidates performed in the district semifinals. Matt, give us the goods.
Well, first off, we had a couple of players who finished up their seasons early with first round exits. One of them was Braden McKenna from Lapeer, who we'd been watching for a while and finally got him into the conversation last week. They had a tough matchup in the first round with Rochester Adams. He had 190 total yards, 101 rushing, 89 receiving. Finishes up with 2,149 yards rushing and 30 touchdowns on the ground. He kind of played his way into the conversation. He wasn't somebody that we had on the radar at the start of the season, but he just absolutely, kind of went gonzo throughout the season. Most of the rest of the guys that we have on the list managed to survive. I know Christian Stokes from Harper Woods went out in an overtime loss to River Rouge. He'd had a sensational season as well, about 1,500 yards rushing, 19 touchdowns for the Pioneers. We had some other guys who didn't play a whole lot if they had easier matchups in the first round. For example, Dylan Tatum from West Bloomfield only had 6 carries. He played, I believe, 7 snaps on offense in a 39-3 win over Novi for West Bloomfield. He's got 889 rushing yards. Dante Moore, another one who didn't throw the ball a whole lot. 7 passes for King in the first round, 55-12 playoff win over Warren Fitzgerald. Only 3 of 7 passes, completed 4 of them for 2 touchdowns. Gives him 30 passing touchdowns and 2,200 passing yards for the season. That's with 2 forfeit wins in the middle of the regular season there for King. So imagine if they'd played an entire 9-game schedule where he'd be at. Elijah Jackson Anderson from Grand Blanc didn't run the ball a ton. 12 rushes for 64 yards and a 25-6 win for the Bobcats over Holt. On the season, he's got 896 yards rushing and 11 touchdowns, 18 catches and 2 more scores. As the Bobcats continue their unbeaten season. Similar situation for Ty Holtz with DeWitt, 4 for 9 passing, 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. They won 44-14 over Ionia, so he was not needed to put up huge stats. On the season, he's completed 108 of 183 passes for 2,112 yards and 29 scores. Terrell Henry from Roseville just continues to get it done in a multitude of ways. It seems like every week we hear a different way that he's impacted the game. This time it was a kick return for a touchdown, 75 yards, added an interception as Roseville won 27-0 over Lance Cruz in the first round. Right. 37 catches, I believe, on the season, 4 receiving touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 2 of which he's returned for touchdowns to tie an MHSAA record. 4 punt returns for touchdowns on the season, and now 2 kickoff returns. It seems like whatever Terrell Henry does impacts the game in a big way, even if it may not be volume by which he's doing it. Cephas Harris from Chippewa Valley, he had maybe the biggest production of the guys who had pretty easy wins. He didn't play a tremendous amount. I think he played just 4 minutes in the second half of the first round win for Chip Valley, 33-0 over Troy. Still rushed 17 times for 210 yards and 2 scores in the first half. Gives him 1,800 yards and 24 touchdowns on the season. Zach Hearn from Rockford, didn't need him a lot, really, in a 40-7 win over Grand Ledge. He had 17 carries for 143 yards and a touchdown, just threw 9 passes, completed 5 of them for 64 yards and a score. He's got 1,400 yards through the air, 16 touchdowns. I think most impressive with him is his dual threat ability. Almost 1,200 yards rushing and 23 scores on the ground for the leader of the Rockford Rams. Antonio Gates had a big game in their tough overtime win, Fortson's tough overtime win over Cass Tech. 129 yards receiving on 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, including the game-winning score, giving him 51 catches for 866 yards on the season, 16 touchdowns. He's also played a huge role on defense, coming up with big interceptions and fumble recoveries as he did in their season opening win.
Well, all right. That's a lot of information there, guys, and I appreciate you getting all those numbers up, and we're going to look forward to seeing who is going to be playing next week that's still alive in the Mr. Football race. There's a new vote leader. The Rockford Nation has stepped up, and Zach Hearn is now the vote leader. He was a late add to the competition, too. So, hey, voting will end Monday, November 22nd. Field's frozen, so this is the group we're running with the rest of the season. We'll have another update next week. Matt, thanks for participating.
Not a problem.
All right, we'll see you.